Hey kids! Welcome to this week's episode of Let's Draw! Today we're going to be drawing this abstract checkerboard using 1 point perspective. With this week's artwork, by using a ruler and a pencil and a technique known as 1 point perspective, we're going to be creating this illusion of depth. Let's take a closer look at what we're going to need for today.
Today we're going to use a grey lead, rubber sharpener, a black marker, ruler and some colour pencils. Just remember, if you don't have any of these things, you just use whatever you've got available from home.
Okay, who's ready to start drawing? I know I am. Say it with me then. 1, 2, 3, let's draw!
To begin, we're going to fold our piece of paper in half and then in half again. So we're going to just run our thumb along the fold lines, and this will just give us a nice crisp line along the vertical and the horizontal of our sheet, which will be important to help us with our ruling. Using our ruler, we're going to place our 3 centimeter mark at our center point of our piece of paper and do a little mark at 0 and 6. Placing our ruler on that mark at the 3 centimeter point, we're now going to rule a straight 6 centimeter line along the top and along the bottom, and then join those two lines together, again with a straight 6 centimeter line, creating a square. From each corner of that square, we're then going to line up with the corner of our piece of paper. So we're going to have 4 straight lines running from the corner of our square to the corner of our piece of paper. Going to our square, we're going to make 3 marks along each side of our square. So on each line, we're going to have a mark at 1.5 centimeters, at 3 centimeters, and 4.5 centimeters. So 3 marks along each line, 1.5, 3, and 4.5. We're now going to use our ruler to rule 2 lines, one along the vertical and one along the horizontal, and they should line up with our 3 centimeter point on each side of our square. Going to our corner lines now, we're going to run our ruler along that line and make a little mark at each 2 centimeter point. So there should be a mark at the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 10 and the 12. We're now going to line our ruler up with each of those marks and rule some straight lines between them. So at the 2 centimeter point to the 2 centimeter point on each side, you'll rule a straight line and then repeat that. So between the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 10 and the 12, you will line each point up and then rule a straight line between them. You'll do this along the horizontal side of the page, and then you'll flip it over and do the same along the vertical. To add our next set of lines, we're going to come down to our third line down and put our ruler on the 6 centimeter mark and then make a mark at the 3 and the 9. We'll line those up with our 1.5 and our 4.5 centimeter marks we originally made and then rule a straight line. Do that along the top and then along the bottom as well. So 6 centimeter point on the third line and a mark at the 3 and the 9 and line them up with our 1.5 and our 4.5. It's going to be a similar process along the side. However, this time instead of on the 6, we're going to put it on the 8 centimeter mark and then make a mark at the 4 and the 12. So then you line those 2 points up with our 1.5 and our 4.5, and that's how we get these angled lines. So onto the other side, so we have our 1.5 and our 4.5. So put our ruler at the 8 centimeter mark, have a mark at 4 and 12, and then line those up with our original marks and get our angled lines. We've now drawn all of our checkerboard lines. We're going to now get out our black marker and we're going to make sure that we're using our ruler to go over our lines that we've done so far. So starting off with your square and then our angle lines, what's really important is that we do still use our ruler. That way our lines are nice and sharp and neat and tidy. Now that we've finished outlining, we're going to add some colour. So I've chosen colours that are light and dark tones of the same colour. So a light and dark purple and a light and dark pink. Starting with my dark purple, I'm first just going to mark which squares that I need to add my colour to. So I'm colouring mine like a checkerboard, so each second square is going to be coloured in dark purple. We're now going to colour in each of those squares we've marked. By marking them, it just makes it easier for us to remember which ones we need to colour. So we should have one coloured in nice and dark, and then the square next to it will stay white. And that's the one that we're going to add our lighter colour over the top of after we've finished colouring in all of our dark squares. I'm now going to use my lighter shade to then colour in all the remaining white squares on this side of our checkerboard. We're now going to follow the same process on the other side. So I flip the piece of paper around and then mark each second square first with my darker colour and then colour them in, and then I'll shade over the top using the lighter colour. Just remember, of course, you don't need to use the same colours that I do. You can use any colour combinations that you like. So you could go with orange and blue, you could go with red and green, whatever colours that you choose. You could even go multicoloured and do yours like rainbow. So each square could be its own different set of colours. Black and white is also another really effective combination. So remember that you can just choose whatever you like and whatever works best for you. Turning to the side now, I'm going to follow the same process. So I'm going to mark off each second square with my darker colour first. I'm then going to colour those in and then shade over the top with my lighter colour. Alright, so our square's looking pretty plain, so I think we need to do something about that. What I think I might do is I'm going to add a little stick figure person. So it's almost like they're stuck inside of this square and all the walls are closing in around them. So as I sketch it out, I'm going to extend his little arms and legs so it's almost like he's pushing against each of those walls. I'm now going to outline our figure using our black marker. After I've outlined it, I'm then going to get our rubber and then just tidy up some of those sketch lines, so rubbing them out so that we've just left with the outline of our figure. All that's left to do now is to add in some black shading. So in all the white spaces surrounding our figure, we're going to use our black marker to colour in all those spaces. What's really cool with this artwork is that you can flip yours around, so it could be on the side or could be even upside down. And that's it, we're done!
I hope you had a lot of fun creating your abstract checkerboard. I can't wait to see how you went. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and as always, stay creative!